The coffee shop was a war zone of steamed milk and shattered egos, and Karen was the general nobody asked for. Her scream, shrill enough to crack glass, cut through the morning rush like a siren announcing Armageddon. It was 8:47 a.m. at Brood Awakening, a cozy corner cafe in suburban Ohio, where the line for oat milk lattes snaked out the door. Karen, 48, in a pristine white blazer and sunglasses perched atop her head like a crown, had just been told her latte was decaf. Decaf. The word hit her like a personal insult, a betrayal so profound it demanded retribution. I specifically said full CAF, extra foam, 160 degrees, she shrieked, slamming her reusable tumbler on the counter. The barista, a 22-year-old named Mia with a nose ring and fading pink hair, flinched but held her ground. "Ma'am, I'm sorry, we can remake it right now," Mia offered, her voice steady but her eyes darting to the growing crowd. Karen wasn't having it. Her face reddened, veins bulging like road maps to rage. "Do you know who I am? I'm a paying customer. I have rights," she bellowed, snatching a handful of sugar packets from the condiment station and flinging them at Mia. One packet burst open, dusting the counter in a sweet, gritty haze. The cafe froze. A mom with a stroller gasped. A laptop warrior in the corner lowered his screen, mouth agape. Mia, now speckled with sugar, stared in disbelief as Karen reached for more ammunition. "You're incompetent. I'm calling 911. Karen declared, pulling out her phone with the urgency of someone reporting a hostage crisis. The absurdity was palpable, but so was the tension. This wasn't just about a latte Anna Marie, it was a clash of entitlement and exhaustion, a microcosm of a world stretched thin. Karen's call connected. "Yes, hello, I'm at Brood Awakening, and this barista assaulted me with a decaf latte," she shouted into the phone, pacing like a caged lion. The dispatcher, a seasoned professional named Linda, tried to clarify. "Ma'am, did you say a decaf latte? Was there physical harm?" Karen's response was a tirade, "It's emotional harm. I'm traumatized. I demand an officer." Linda, stifling a sigh, dispatched a unit, if only to de-escalate what sounded like a public disturbance. Meanwhile, Mia's manager, a wiry man named Greg with a perpetual coffee stain on his apron, emerged from the back. "Ma'am, please calm down, we'll fix this," he said, hands raised like he was negotiating a ceasefire. But Karen was beyond reason. She hurled another sugar packet, this one clipping Greg's shoulder. The crowd murmured, a mix of outrage and morbid fascination. A teenager in the corner started live streaming, captioning it, "Karen vs. Coffee, Round 1. The internet was about to feast. Enter Officer Daniel Torres, a 30-year-old rookie with a buzz cut and a knack for defusing chaos. He walked into Brood Awakening to find Karen waving her phone like a weapon, Mia wiping sugar from her face, and Greg pleading for calm. The air was thick with the scent of espresso and indignation. "Ma'am, I need you to step outside," Torres said, his voice firm but calm. Karen spun on him, eyes blazing. "You're here for me." "Arrest her," she demanded, pointing at Mia. "She sabotaged my order." Torres, trained to spot real threats, saw none here, only a woman unraveling over a $6 drink. He glanced at Mia, who was trembling but composed, and Greg, who handed over security footage on his phone. The video was damning. Karen's sugar packet assault was clear as day, each throw a deliberate act of aggression. "Ma'am, throwing objects at someone is assault," Torres said, pulling out his cuffs. "You're under arrest." The crowd gasped, some cheering, others whispering. Karen's face crumpled, then hardened. This is outrageous. I'm the victim, she screamed as Torres led her out, her blazer now dusted with sugar like a cruel irony. At the station, Karen's story unraveled further. She insisted she was defending her consumer rights, that Mia's Dikoff mistake was a personal attack. The police report, however, painted a different picture, a woman who escalated a minor error into a public spectacle, endangering a barista over a caffeine fix. Mia, meanwhile, gave her statement with quiet dignity, her voice cracking only when she mentioned the fear of losing her job. Greg, loyal to his team, refused to fire her, instead offering her the rest of the day off. The internet, predictably, exploded. Clips of Karen's meltdown racked up millions of views, spawning memes and think pieces about entitlement in the digital age. But the story didn't end with handcuffs and hashtags. Karen's arrest was just the spark, the real fire burned in the aftermath. Her real name, Karen Mitchell, was plastered across local news. She was a real estate agent, a PTA mom, a woman who'd built a life on appearances. Now, she was a viral villain. Her husband, a quiet accountant named Tom, bailed her out that evening, his face etched with exhaustion. "She's not a bad person," he told a reporter, voice heavy. "She's just lost control." Karen, silent for once, faced a misdemeanor assault charge and a community service sentence. Her real estate listings tanked overnight. Mia, meanwhile, became an unwilling hero. Tips poured in from strangers who saw her story online, enough to cover a month's rent. But the attention came at a cost. She started therapy to process the trauma of being targeted, of being reduced to a punching bag for someone's bad day. "I just wanted to make coffee," she told a friend, her voice hollow. The cafe, too, felt the ripples. Business boomed from curious onlookers, but Greg worried about his staff's safety. What's next, he wondered aloud. A riot over a cold brew? The heart of the conflict wasn't just Karen's outburst or Mia's resiliency, it was the fracture it exposed. Karen wasn't evil, she was a product of a culture that equates complaints with power, where being right trumps being kind. Mia wasn't just a barista, she was a young woman scraping by, caught in the crossfire of someone else's unraveling. The crowd, the internet, the police, they were all players in a drama that felt both absurd and achingly human. Karen's latte meltdown was a mirror, reflecting a society teetering on the edge of civility, where a single misstep could ignite chaos. As the dust settled, Karen sat in her empty open house, staring at a stack of unsold flyers. Mia, back at work, forced a smile as she steamed milk for the next customer. Both women, in their own ways, were scarred by that morning, bound by a moment that spiraled beyond their control. The viral clips faded, replaced by the next outrage, but the human cost lingered. Karen's arrest wasn't justice, it was a warning. Mia's survival wasn't triumph, it was endurance. What do you think? Did Karen's punishment fit her crime, or was the system too harsh on a woman who lost her way? Share your thoughts. Where does personal responsibility end and public shaming begin?